we got the Pussification of video games. Oh boy, from Andy Pants Gaming. Let me see.
Today, I want to talk about the great pussification of video games that has happened the past 20 years. Is it a soy-based diet doing this? Is it the rise of OnlyFans simping doing this? If you have recently had the thought, I wonder what new pumpkin-flavored items Trader Joe's has.
No, I have never wondered that.
Be careful, my brother in Christ. You might be gay now. But if there's one thing that is straight as hell, it's the rock-solid video games of the 2000s.
Yeah.
Your Gears of War.
He ain't wrong. At all. And I am really thankful to have lived through that little era and coming up with games. It was so cool, man. But I mean, shit, I was like a little kid playing these games. I mean, it's like, oh, rated M for mature. It's like, yeah, I mean, I got my mom to get it for me, so it's like, whatever. Like, I'm not buying these games. My mom's getting them for me. It's like, oh, as long as like all your friends, this is the justification, because it would be like, oh, do your friends have it? Yeah. Okay, then you can get it too. It's fine.
Your Medals of Honor. Your Chronicles of Riddicks. These games were masculine as hell, and we want them back. And we're boycotting video games until they come back.
I mean, it's not really boycotting video games. I think for the most part, for most of the gaming audience, there's probably like some percentage of people that are like actively like boycotting games, but for the most part, if a game looks good, people will be willing to try it, and if a game does not look good, people will simply just ignore it. I think it's that simple.
I recently saw this disappointing photo of Phil Spencer being pushed out of the photo by two...
A joy to chat to at Xbox P3 plus at Bond Sarah _ Bond about all things Xbox to kick off the Gamescom live show.
Domineering girl bosses who are probably unfulfilled because they're trying to succeed in the corporate world instead of having children at home like God designed them to.
What was that caption? People are probably going to hate this comment. Oh. It's not really being pushed out, bro. I think this is just like a picture. This is like a random ass picture.
Children at home like God designed them to. And don't you love Phil's cute little Doom shirt? Like, hey guys, I'm still one of the bros, right?
You guys still want to hang out, right? This is like a hello fellow gamers moment.
Look, like we can still hang, right?
Yeah.
Nah, Phil, you're trash. You got cucked, dude. You're useless. So I have found that there are still people out there who deny the simple fact that
the feminizing of games, the pussification of games.
Games have gone woke, homo, and gay in 2024.
Some of them have. Some of them haven't, though. What games have just came out? What was it? Like Black Myth Wukong just came out. What else? Steam charts, and I know Steam charts is only for like PC. Black Myth Wukong just came out. What else? There's like some other shit. Wow, why is Naraka Blade Point up there? What is happening here? This is news to me. What else? I mean, 2024. Well, let me see. Game releases in 2024. Come on. Stoppable Radiance Raven. Oh Jesus. Okay, maybe he's maybe he's not entirely wrong. The Temple of Atlas, Immortal Life, Princess Persia. I think that was like a decent one. Another Code Recollection, Last of Us. Didn't we already get like a Last of Us 2 remastered? Whatever. I mean, I can't really. Where's like the pictures? Game release date calendar. Can I get like an image of the game instead of like just words and shit? What else happened in 2024? You had Helldivers You had Pal World. You had That Disaster. Yep, Persona, blah blah blah. Skull and that's a Nightingale, Last Epoch. I think Last Epoch was pretty good. Final Fantasy VII, Thaumaturge, Expeditions. What else? What else? Star Wars. Yeah. Or no, this is like the Battlefront collection thing. That's like meh. That was just like a dumpster fire. Hi-Fi Rush on PS5. Dragon's Dogma came out 2024. It was like a decent game. So it's like I'm kind of getting like mixed feelings. Like there's like a good chunk that are probably pussified, but I would also say that there's like another good chunk that are just good games that have came out and have, probably under that definition would probably not be pussified. It's not like every game that has came out has been pussified, but like I get where he's going with this.
So in this video, I'm going to literally prove it to you using science. What we will do is read the back of the box description of 6 random games from 2024.
They're not random. They're cherry picked. Come on, man.
And then we will read the back of the box.
And also, they're probably goated ass games.
Descriptions of 6 random games from the 2000s.
Come on, they're not cherry picked. Or they are cherry picked.
And if what I'm saying is true, we should notice a feminization.
Okay, so what we got? We got Deus Ex, Human Revolution, Brothers in Arms, Road to Hill 30, Chronicles of Riddick. What the hell is this? Ride to Hell? Okay, maybe this was random. I have no idea what this game is. Dark Sector, played that. Modern Warfare 2, who hasn't played that? So I played all of these games except this like little Ride to Hell thing. I have no idea what that is. And then this stuff, make it gay. Pussification, gayification. Creatures of Ava. Dungeons of Hinterberg. Flintlock. Magical Delicacy. Flock. Chia? Or Chia? I don't know.
A pussification, a gayification of video games that has happened the past 20 years. And before you bring up that video games don't have boxes anymore in 2024, calm your tits. You know what I mean. So to find 6 modern games I didn't have.
Honestly, I had no idea. I have no idea if games have boxes anymore. I get all my games off fucking PC. Like I've quit being a console bro a while ago.
Have to look very far. I literally just went to the front page of Xbox Game Pass and found these games. This is clearly what Phil and his team of homos actually expects us men to play. Here they are. Creatures.
Oh, Jesus. Forgot to include Dustborn, but you get the idea. Yeah. And honestly, what was it? The Xbox showcase thing that happened like a little bit earlier this year. Bro, I saw that thing and yeah, this was the vibe I was getting. Like there's like there was all like these cozy games. It's fine to have like a female like main lead or whatever, but like when it's like just female main leads, it's like it's kind of obvious like what kind of messaging you guys are sending to like the general population of gamers. Everybody knows video games are catered toward men. Video gaming is primarily a men thing. Not men or whatever. It's a guy thing. I mean, if you like ask 50 men or 50 guys and then 50 girls whether or not they play video games, I would say at least 60 to 70% of the guys probably have played video games, and then maybe like 10 or 20% max of girls have just played video games. And it's like, okay, well, who's mostly where's your target audience? It's the guys, obviously. So why would you bother making games for a small sliver of the pie slice that is the entire audience base? For like, why would you like pigeonhole yourself to just like narrowing in on such a small like pie slice of the audience? Like, why? Why would you do that?
of Ava, Dungeons of Hinterberg, Flintlock Siege of Dawn, Flock, Magical Delicacy, and Chia. Now you might say, oh, Andrew, you're specifically picking out games aimed at children. No, dude, I'm literally just going to the front page of Game Pass.
Oh, shit. Maybe. Maybe he's actually right.
And these are 6 games featured on the front page of Game Pass. Also, side note, isn't it weird that these pedo developers are always making games aimed at kids?
I mean, yes and no. Like, yes, it's weird that they're making games for kids, but no, because video games, for the most part, were always aimed at kids. You know, there's a little bit of discrepancy, you know, from like the 12 to like 16 era, and then, or not era, but like age bracket, to the, I don't know, 17, 18, 19, like 21-year-old bracket, and then 21 plus. You know, there's, however you want to break it down. There are still people that think video gaming is primarily a kids thing. But the longer time goes on, I think that is more and more showing that that is not the case. Like video games have been like mainstream, I think, for a while now. I know like video games have only been around for like what, 30-ish years or something like that. And it's still like relatively young, but I mean, people that were brought up on, I don't know, Mario and shit. I mean, my first video game was like Mario and Duck Hunt. But, you know, I'm 34 and I still play video games. So it's like people that have played and have liked the hobby then, that still like the hobby now, they're just getting older. And that's it.
But that's a whole other thing I'm not going to get into right now. All right, so what games from the 2000s should we compare these with? These are 6 kind of random games that I just happened to pull off the shelf without thinking too much about it.
Okay.
They are Brothers in Arms Road to Hill 30, Ride to Hell Retribution, Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, what is this fucking game, dude? I have never seen this game. What is that? This looks like, what's that, like, biker gang? This looks like Hell's Angels, the biker gang game.
Dark Sector, Deus Ex Human Revolution, Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on Dark Athena. And again, all I'm going to do here is read the descriptions and we will compare. 2024, Creatures of Ava. Let your empathy guide you as you play an exciting action-adventure creature saver game. Understand and tame the creatures of Ava and let them lead you through a variety of ecosystems, all in the hopes of saving the planet from a life-consuming infection.
Bro, all I saw was like the trailers for these games. I didn't read like the pitch lines or the pitches, like the pitch paragraphs or whatever you want. Was it tag paragraph, tagline, whatever? I didn't even read those, but if these are actually them, this is hilarious. There's no shot that this line is pulling anybody in. Hell no.
I also found out that the 2 main characters of this game are, of course, homosexual black women because, you know, 2024.
Oh, I'm sure that pulls in even more people.
Let your empathy guide you? Like, what the hell? I don't play video games to let my empathy guide me.
I mean, honestly, you just have to deal with the fact that you're not the target audience for this type of video game, obviously. I mean, every video game doesn't need to be like targeted towards like the male gamer. However, if you do make a video game that is targeted toward a minority chunk of the audience, you're gonna have to deal with the fact that even if the entire minority of the video game audience gets behind your game, it still ain't gonna do that well because there's just not that many of them. Okay? There's just not. It's like the whole thing with the WNBA. You look in the stands. Who's in the stands for the WNBA? They're mostly empty. The WNBA was meant for women to come to like these games and watch. Surprise. It's like half and half maybe. I don't know. I don't really watch WNBA or NBA for that matter, to be honest. But if you look in the stands, it's like half and half. It's like, shouldn't most of the audience be like kind of female? Because it's like 10 girls playing. Surprise. Also, sports. It's like majority like male dominated. Oh my God. Where is all the women trying to show up for all these WNBA games?
Me and ooh, I want to be gay and collect creatures and like this game just sounds retarded. Let's be honest. So now let's compare this with a game from 20 years ago. 2005, Brothers in Arms Road to Hill 30. The back of the box says this. They would sacrifice everything except each other. Like, damn, dude, just grabs you by the balls. Like that is the back of a box. I'm like, okay, I'm interested now. That is a dope intro for a back of the box. It goes on, the night before D-Day, 1944. The paratroopers of the 101st Airborne Division are dropped into Normandy and scattered behind enemy lines. As Sergeant Matt Baker, lead your squad through 8 harrowing days that will define history and unite you forever as brothers in arms. Like, bro,
Damn.
like the balls.
Oh my God, I remember this level. This was like the whole Brothers in Arms thing deal was like it was a first person shooter, but also you controlled like, what was it, like 1 or 2 squads. And the thing on the back of the box was it like the 5 Fs? Find him, fix him, flank him, or no, it was a 4 Fs. Finish him. Find him, fix him, flank him, finish him. And check in that paper box to see if that little poster was there, because I used to have that poster on the back of the door. I think it was the 4 Fs. Yeah, it was like you control a squad to like stop like flank people and like do like support fire while you just go in like John Rambo and just everybody.
Of these games description. I have to go play this game now. See, this is what's honestly missing from the 2024 homo trash. Like, nothing is good anymore. Nothing grabs us. This is why video games profits are down. And they've completely quit catering to their base market of men. Next game, 2024 Dungeons of Hinterberg.
Oh boy.
Armed with a sword and a tourist guide, explore the beautiful alpine village of Hinterberg and uncover the magic hidden within its dungeons. Master magic, solve puzzles, slay monsters. All this and more awaits you in Hinterberg. Like, okay, I like swords, but based on the game's art style, I know within the first 5 minutes, we're meeting somebody's non-binary.
The whole cell shading thing is either like a hit or miss. You either like it or you don't like it. Seldom do I ever find people that are in the middle. My best example for this is Borderlands. Borderlands 1 and 2. 3 or like the little pre-sequel was all right. And 3 was like meh. But yeah, the whole decision with the cell shading is like the more photorealistic you try to make your game, and then as time goes on, the more dated it feels like, versus the more stylized cell shading approach. What do you call it? It's like as time goes on with the cell shading, it's like you can still go back and play it because it's not like so much of a graphical eyesore to look at, because it's like kind of cartoony, whatever.
Boyfriend. Like, nah, dude, I'm good. Now compare this with the 2013 masterpiece, Ride to Hell Retribution. Back of the box says this: 2 fists, 2 wheels, no rules. Now, it's a little cheesy, but I already know one thing. This game has balls, but it gets better.
And boobs.
Lone rider, Jake Conway, locked in a battle to the death against a ruthless gang of bikers called the Devil's Hand. Okay, and you got a hot chick on the back. Like, dude, I'm in. I want.
Yeah, this is literally catered towards dudes. Yeah, it's awesome when a game is entirely catered towards you.
Want to play this game now. These 2024 games will be 3 sentences long and still can't grab my attention. And then with like 1 word, this 2013 game completely has me by the balls. Like, guys, it kind of makes me sad that American
devs used to make good shit.
Actually used to export like cool stuff to the world. And now it's just homo woke garbage that America is exporting. Like,
But is the homo woke garbage profitable? That's the main thing. And I don't know, maybe I'll mention it, maybe not. But like all these games will come out and the general population of people will they'll either buy it or they won't. And the only people that will know whether or not the game uh, is profitable are the developers, the publishers, and the little, like, I don't know, the investors. All right, whoever. If the game is profitable, then it's a good game. Whatever, it's another good game. But if the game's bad, it's gonna be the end of it. It's simply put, that's it.
I know you dudes in Europe know what I'm talking about. Like America used to export, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, the Stallone movies, like all of the
Oh yeah,
awesome stuff of the 80s and 90s.
yeah. The action hero, what do you call it? Era saga. Yeah, Schwarzenegger versus Stallone. Yeah, when one came out with a badass movie, the other one came out with a badass movie. And then you had a bunch of like other people, like literally anybody from the Expendables. You had Jet Li, Jason Statham. You had what else? I'm missing a bunch of people for Christ's sake. But everybody in the Expendables has had a bunch of good movies, like action movies, like catered towards men in there. Bruce Willis, Die Hard, and all of those. Jackie Chan. Well, Jackie Chan isn't in Expendables, but you know what I mean.
And look at like the homo trash garbage that America is exporting today, and it's such a shame. Next game, 2024 Flintlock Siege of Dawn. Step into the boots of Noor Van Anik, an elite member of the Coalition Army, joined by Inky, a mysterious fox-like companion, in their quest for vengeance against the gods. Guided by Inky, who shares his knowledge of the world with you, your combat skills and traversal abilities will be imbued with this magical powers, making you a duo to be reckoned with. Like, nah, dude, it just sounds gay. It sounds queer. Why is every game like this now? It's always some magical nonsense that never sounds cool. It's like none of these developers beta tested any of these ideas with normal guys.
No, because they know probably the majority of testers are dudes. All right. If they actually tested this, it would have to be with such a specific targeted group of testers that is composed entirely of women. And that I would venture to say that that is so rare. Maybe it does exist, but the fact that it's so rare is just, it just points to the fact that most girls don't really like playing video games as much as guys. It's just a hobby thing. That's it.
I guarantee you get a bunch of straight dudes in a room and they would tell you this idea was terrible. Oh, but the cherry on top, of course, is this. Black female lesbian girl boss as the main character. Like, F off, dude. I'm not playing. I think it's a woman. It might be a man. It might be a they, them. All right, jumping back to the 2000s. And I know this isn't fair to compare this game, but it
Oh, yeah. You have the GOAT game versus something.
Popped off my shelf.
Versus a
2009 Modern Warfare 2. Back of the box says this.
Of course.
Modern Warfare 2 continues the gripping and heart-racing action as players face off against a new threat dedicated to bringing the world to the brink of collapse. Like, yes, dude, I want to know that new threat dedicated to bringing the world to the brink of collapse. Also, if you had played Call of Duty before this, you're kind of already invested.
Yeah.
So it's a great tagline. 2024 game, Flock. Flock is a multiplayer co-op game about the joy of flight and
multiplayer. Okay.
collecting adorable flying creatures with your friends. Soar through beautiful landscapes, seeking out rare and elusive creatures to add to your flock. Like, dude.
Bro, why is there, was this like the second game where it's like they try to be like diet Pokemon? This is the second game where they try to be diet Pokemon. I gotta collect all the monsters and shit.
This shit is gay. Like, this is either designed for a 5-year-old or it's designed for a 30-year-old gay man or it's designed for a...
Well, ask the target audience. Are you interested in playing this? Like, I would be really interested to see what each of these games' target demographics are, and then go ahead and ask each of those, you know, all those groups of people that are in those demographics, does this look like something you'd play? And I would be curious to hear what they have to say.
A woman, but none of those people are buying Xboxes. Like, Phil, you're retarded and your company's going to go out of business if you keep this up. All right, jumping back to the 2000s, this is a good one. Dark Sector 2008. Become the ultimate weapon. The virus, the source of your pain. Your enemy, your power. Unleash the deadly power of the glaive and become the hero.
Yep.
Like, dude, that's the back of a box right there.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm intrigued. Now I'm like, whoa, a virus?
Bro, this shit was Ninja Gaiden. Or, not Ninja Gaiden. This was what the fuck? Metal Gear Rising Revengeance before Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
My power? What is the glaive? Like, what is this about? I want to become the ultimate weapon. Like, in the 2000s, games were made by straight dudes. And in 2020, games are made by mostly gay men and women. Like, it's that simple. Men, actual straight men, we want power. We want cool weapons. We want, you know, deadly powers and glaives and becoming the ultimate weapon. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
But if you're a gay man or a woman or a child, none of which are people who actually play video games, then you want to collect adorable creatures. It really comes down to that.
I mean, bro, they're not wrong with like the whole collecting creatures. Like when I was a little kid and I got my Game Boy, one of the first games I got on it was, well, it was Mario, but then Pokemon Red and Blue came out and that shit was absolutely litty. All right. In retrospect, it was kind of annoying the first couple hours of me playing it because, you know, whenever you first load up Pokemon Red and Blue, you start out inside your own house on the second story of your house. And me, never playing a Link game or any sort of game besides Mario, really, you know, I only played side scrollers. I had no idea that not only did you had to like get yourself onto the little tile that looked like a stair, and then click left on the D-pad. I also had no idea that you had to stand on the carpet and click down into the black box of nothingness to get out of your house. Bro, as a little kid, that shit infuriated me. So almost to the point where I asked my mom, well, I did ask my mom, hey, can you beat this game for me? I think I said something like that. And she's like, she didn't know what the fuck to do. She's like, I don't know what to do. And she's like walking around and shit. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, Cornel. If you want to return it, we'll return it. But then I was like, oh, no, I'll figure it out. And then, bro, like that shit took me like 2 or 3 hours to figure out how to get out of my damn house. Because it wasn't intuitive to me as a little kid to walk on the carpet and hit down. Or walk on the steps and hit, like, I don't know, whichever way the steps are, left.
2024, Magical Delicacy, and I've made fun of this game before. A wholesome pixel art platformer. Cook magical delicacies from a vast collection of ingredients in your own shop. Explore an unfamiliar town and deliver tasty treats to the townsfolk. Like, no, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, no straight guy has ever thought, I want to deliver tasty treats to the townsfolk. That is something women would do, but that is not something a straight guy would be like, ooh, I want to deliver tasty treats. Jumping back to a classic from the 2000s, Deus Ex Human Revolution 2011. The big text says, the truth will change you. Like, damn, son, what truth? I have to know. What is being hidden from me? It goes on. Critically injured after a deadly attack, Adam Jensen undergoes a life-saving operation, augmenting him with powerful cybernetics. Caught in the middle of a vast conspiracy, Adam's choices will affect both himself and all of humanity as he seeks answers across the globe. Like, damn. Dude, I am rock hard right now. Like, I want to play this game. I don't want to play anything about collecting adorable creatures or delivering gay treats to people's houses. I want to play whatever Human Revolution is about. And it's funny because, like, I can't put my finger on exactly what made 2000s games so good.
Crackdown.
It has something to do.
Like where you're like the jacked cops arresting all of the people
with men. Dude, we're dudes and we want games about dudes. And we want
Hmm.
games about male transformation and identity and a man who is going through something, who is actually a man. I can't really describe what made the 2000s games so good other than that they're focused exclusively on the male psyche.
I mean, well, it also helps that they're all good stories. I mean, that's like another big like bullet point in a lot of these games. They're all just good stories, period. Pretty well written.
Because it was men playing the games. It's always been men playing the games. So as long as Sony and Xbox don't realize this obvious fact and keep designing games for 14-year-old girls, for women, and for gay men, I truly think Xbox is going to go out of business and Sony will go out of business if they don't figure out who their audience is quickly. 2024 game.
That is actually kind of crazy to think that because these like console companies took a chance at diverging from like their normal making games for like the usual suspects of people that play video games into this like minority niche of like, oh well, we'll make this gay game for everybody else that's not our normal audience in an attempt to like get more people into playing video games, which is fine. But to take such a big gamble risk to making almost seemingly all your games catered towards that crowd seems really stupid to me.
Chia, a tropical open world adventure. Take control of any animal or object you can find and jam on your fully playable ukulele. Like, no, dude, this just sounds like some cozy garbage trash game. Like, if I wanted to.
Yeah, cozy game means boring. Anytime you hear the word cozy, think boring. But bro, it's also kind of like weird to think that, you know, what's like the Sony version of Xbox, what's the Game Pass? Sony probably has something like that. I'm just like clueless. It's weird to think that, you know, with all the bullshit going on with Game Pass right now, you know, they're like taking the pass. Before it was like what, 15, $20 a month or something like, or no. Maybe it was like what, like $10, and you just have Game Pass and you got access to all these games. Now they're dividing Game Pass up into tiers, and so that you have to pay more money to get the services that you are already getting in like the tier 3 version of Game Pass, all because the games that they make are just simply not selling. That's kind of crazy to think about. They have made their own problems, and because they have chosen to take a risk with making all these new games, they have not solved their own problems. So they're just like digging a hole, they're digging their own grave, and they're about ready to just bury themselves in it. Oh man.
If I wanted to chill out and do nothing, I would just go do something besides play a video game. But when I play a video game, I want to have like an intense experience. I don't want to have some cozy trash experience.
I mean, people have a bunch of different reasons to play video games. Like, come on, some people like the competitive nature of like FPSs. Some people want to just chill out, and some, you know, there is an audience for like the cozy game. All right, it's not completely void of like people wanting to just chill out and play a game. There's a bunch of different types of games, and people play games for like a bunch of different reasons, dude. Like, to say that your reason is the only reason and the best reason, it does sound kind of short-sighted.
So my only thinking with this is that Xbox seems to think that their target is gay men, 5-year-olds, and women. But the super obvious.
But then again, that Xbox's assumption, and that is their only audience, is also pretty stupid too.
Fact, as I've said it again and again, is that their audience is full of 30-year-old dudes.
Yeah.
So like at this point, I just think Xbox is probably going to go bankrupt because they keep putting stuff like this out.
I mean, would that be the worst thing if there just happens to be less consoles in the world And then all of a sudden, the whole mouse and keyboard versus aim assist debate can finally be laid to rest. You know, how many FPS games have came out, and not even FPS games, just games with a crossplay that have like aim assist in them, have people just been bitch mode complaining about, oh, the aim assist so overpowered, blah blah blah. MK, you got your whole arm. You know, how many times has a game came out and that's the first argument you hear? Would it be the worst thing in the world for these console companies to just shit their bed and just be like, nope, no more? Then it would be what? M&K superiority, supremacy, PC gamer master race? Would that be the worst thing in the world? It would be a kind of a monopoly, but not really, but kind of, yeah, maybe that would be bad.
All right, and let's look at the final game here that I found from the 2000s. And it is called The Chronicles of Riddick: Assault on Dark Athena. You already know this box is about to go hard.
Oh, yeah.
At the top, it says in big letters, there is power in darkness. See, like men...
Yeah, that sounds like something I would have loved to play in like middle school or high school. Back when my name was something along the lines of like Shadow Nova Storm, the fucking XXX 360 no scope or something like that.
Power. We're all about powers and domination and conquering. Understand your audience, guys. Below that, it says a dark, intense shooter set in an epic sci-fi world. Like, this is all things we want. We want darkness, we want intensity, we want shooting, and we want sci-fi. Riddick brings the darkness with stealth, action, and brutal melee combat. And then for the first time, play as Riddick in multiplayer on System Link or online. Below that, it says, be Riddick, the most ruthless criminal in the universe. In his latest chronicle, Riddick has been captured by the Dark Athena, a mercenary ship hell-bent on eliminating him once and for all. Using his intense hand-to-hand combat skills, explosive firepower, and lethal stealth, Riddick must shut down the maniacal Captain Ravas and her deadly crew when Riddick steps into the darkness. No one is safe. Like, dude, don't you want to play that game?
Yeah,
darkness,
that goes hard.
Power, prison. These describe the kind of games that straight men want to play. And it's sad to see the video game industry completely bottoming out and completely dying right now because they're chasing audiences that don't exist.
Yeah.
Gay men don't play your games. Kids don't play Xbox.
I mean, maybe they do, but it's just such a small percentage, dude. And not every gay man is going to be like a whale to buy like I don't know, 100 copies of your game to make up for all the people not buying it. All right, that's not the case. Those people don't exist.
Boxes. Women don't play Xboxes. Phil Spencer and PlayStation and all these companies need.
I mean, it's probably like a piece, like a small portion of them that do, but like, I mean, who knows the actual demographics of, besides the people at Xbox and Sony. You know, they know the demographics. So I don't know.
Need to wake up and freaking realize that straight dudes are playing these games and they need to be making games for us. So developers, if you are listening, give us manly games. Give us power. Give us darkness. Give us violence. Give us brawny buff dudes who beat the crap out of people with our sick powers. And if y'all do this, if y'all quit being pussies, if y'all quit pussifying the game industry and actually give us manly games, we will buy games again. But the video game industry, the video game economy is going to keep crashing until y'all give people what they want. It's so...
I think part of the reason the video game economy is crashing is not necessary. Like, I think the bullet point of the pussification of video games is a big bullet point, but you have to think that when video games were on like the come up, or like the golden era of video games or whatever, like Modern Warfare 2 and Friends and all those like masculine type of games, at that point, there was such like saturation in that type of game. And I don't know, I'd have to go back to see like I wish I could go back and see like what everybody else was like seeing or doing, because back then, like, yes, the internet wasn't around, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is today. I mean, shit, dude, you look at like the this year's Olympics, it had like record numbers of people watching. And I think just because of like the memes, and so many people have access to like watch the Olympics because of the internet. Back then, yes, the internet was around. Yes, everybody saw like the FaZe Clan, like 360 no scope montages and shit that went along with Modern Warfare 2 and all that shit. But like, no one was really paying attention to each other. And I think at that point, I mean, at least with FPS, a lot of the times, or at least in that era, from what I remember, FPS was like, it was getting like saturated with like World War II games. It was like, I remember getting magazines, and or was it like the Game Informer magazines, and there were like all these articles of like, is the FPS genre like saturated with World War II remakes and all that shit? And it's like, okay, yeah, kind of. We need to like diverge into like something else, like something futuristic, or go back and get a little innovative in our like video game creative skills or something. It's like, just change it up. And it's like, there's simply just been I don't know, maybe like maybe there's always like a creativity issue or an innovative issue, and it just takes time for creators to like figure out something, to see like what works, what people will buy. I mean, yeah. But other than that, I think it was a good video. It was pretty funny. I mean, the pussification of video games 2024. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games that have been pussified and shit like that. But, uh, I mean, it's just like, here's the funny thing. How do you beat this? How do you beat the pussification of video games? You just simply don't buy them. It's that easy. I think there was like an article or something I read like a year ago where it said like a good chunk of people that play video games, they are actually going back and like playing old video games. So what does that tell you? Right there. So I mean, nobody's forcing you to buy the pussified games. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Don't pay it no mind. The best thing you could do is just ignore it and let it pass. But overall, good video. And I want to see more from Andy Pants Gaming. So that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.